Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm Sarah Troy, your host, and my guest today is ASEA Sugarman-Maidany. We're going to be talking about a product that saved her life. She said that when she was in her 20s, she ended an operation to remove 2 discs from her spine. And though the surgery was successful, she was left needing crutches for an extended time period and had to live with chronic pain. Understandably, she was distraught about this, often to the point of absolute misery. Nearly 25 years later, a friend who watched her suffering introduced her to a product called ASEA Redox molecules. And having nothing but pain to lose, she gave it a try. And shortly after this, it was clear to her that her pain was subsiding. Within 6 weeks, she was able to walk in her garden without the agony that such activity would normally cause. Now she's pleased to say that she is pain-free and feeling overwhelmingly obliged to share the wonders of Redox with the world. ASEA has truly given her her life back. Well, let's look at this product because obviously it's extremely important. Nobody wants to be in pain. Pain suffocates us, it cripples us, it stops us for living our full potential. And it's really important that we do step into the essence of who we are, because we're all here to do something. But we never know what our journey is going to be in leading us to that calling, to that purpose. And in your case, it was 2 discs coming out, being in pain, and then discovering no more pain, and now being your calling to help other people be pain-free. Welcome to the show, Ali.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So, I mean, I know back pain. Yes, it's not very pleasant. Haven't had the operations, but I've had a few other things happen in my life. And it's very easy for the pain to take over. And then kind of it blocks anything else that you're able to do. How did it affect your lifestyle?
Unfortunately, I have to say it affected me in a big time because it hindered me from doing so many things that I like. Like you're talking about the garden. I loved gardening and I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted in the garden. I like um, taking trails, walking on trails, and I couldn't do it for a long time. And the hiking was out of the question. There
Mm,
are so many things that I couldn't do that in my nature, I'm a fighter, so I would try them, but the pain will remind me, hey, lady,
yeah.
this is not for you. And that was very devastating over and over and over again.
Mm. Yeah, when things block you from doing, because the enthusiasm is there, right? It's just that
Yes.
the body says nope. And it's like, come on, push through. Let's do this together. And then the body ultimately has rule, right? And we want to rule over the body. But really, it's actually working with the body, isn't it? It's listening to the body. How can I be supportive of the body? And I'm suppose that you tried painkillers and other back medication, medical medicines and therapy and all of that. Did any of that work long term, or was it just short term?
Yeah, you're right. I did try everything I could put my hand on.
Mm,
Every idea that anyone had, I jumped to the opportunity to try because I so wanted to get my life back, especially like you said, I lost it in when I was in my 20s. So I was like really eager to do a lot of things that I didn't have a chance to do. And unfortunately, nothing really lasted. Some things were for weeks, something were for days, something didn't, some of the stuff didn't even work at all,
hmm
but nothing was long term or even, completely until I hit a
mm.
ASEA Redox, and that changed my life.
How did it affect your work?
it was hard to sit for a long time. So I had to take a lot of breaks when I was now I have my own business, but then when I was working for other people, they didn't always understand it and they didn't always like the fact that I had to walk around just to move a little bit. It was like wasting their
Their
time.
time, yes. Why aren't you working? Where's
And
the whip?
exactly, you're not productive. You're wasting time because you're walking away. And I really didn't like that part. But that and this is probably part of what pushed me to become my own like have my own business. I had a different business before I started this one. It's because it did affected me in emotionally a lot because of my physical condition.
Mm. One has to listen to the body because the body is always indicating when something's wrong. And if you don't listen to the body, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until you're flattened. And
Absolutely.
most people don't understand that. Either those that have not been in pain or people that are working, instead of you putting 3 hours of work into an hour of work and then taking half an hour to walk around, they just count the hours. They don't count the productivity. And so that just adds more stress. What does stress do? It adds more pain because it tightens everything up. And so, we really should be in a world where we look at people and go, okay, you have some challenges. Some people call them disabilities. I call them differently abled, but we have some health challenges. Work with me in my health challenges. I'm still productive, but I have to be aware of how much I can push myself mentally, physically, so that I can be productive. And, a lot of people just don't understand that. And if they haven't been in pain, they certainly don't understand it. Bravo for you for going out on your own and starting your own business, because now you know when to take the breaks, you know when to push yourself, you know what to do. So you're in a business, but then somebody says, have you tried this product? No, I'm sure again, it was, yes, another product. How many have people talked to you about? I don't know about you, but piled up, you got to try this product, it works. And then you get it, and it's just another waste of money and it doesn't do anything. But what was the difference about this product?
Oh my God, you're so right. Because when I was introduced to it, it was after a long journey of trying so many things.
Mm.
I already gave up and everything. And it was like, I can't do this. I can't get disappointed once again.
Yes.
And I did do it out of respect to my friend.
Hmm.
It was my friend that made me, the fact that she was my friend that made me try it, not the product.
Mm.
And I'm so glad that it was a friend who introduced it to me and that I tried it because it changed my life. I couldn't feel it in the beginning. I mean, I'm sure it helped me slowly,
Hmm.
but I couldn't feel it. I also forgot what it means to live with no pain, so I couldn't identify it right away.
Right.
And I even on the day that I discovered that I'm pain free, it took me a few hours within the day before I realized I've been doing things that I wasn't able to do before. Working in the garden, coming home and crawling, going to do some yoga and some release exercises. And when I got up to go to the house, I realized I'm walking straight. I wasn't bended like I used to. And it made me think, and I still couldn't put my finger in it because my mind wasn't there.
Yes. Yeah.
And it took me, yeah. And then I came home, and the 20 minutes of gardening turned to an hour and a half. And then I realized, oh my God, an
Hmm.
hour and a half, no pain. What
Right.
does all this mean? And suddenly it dawned on me that wow, she was right.
Hmm.
It worked
Hmm.
and it's still working. So this was it. She told me that I will never have to look for anything ever again. And she was so right. I'm so glad I listened to her.
Hmm. And, out of respect for your friend, to give her a chance because of the business that she's in. And that, we do that how often. And then it's like, how do you let your friend know it doesn't work? because we're always prepared for that. So it just doesn't work for me. And I'm glad it works for you, but it just doesn't work for me. And we always know we're going to come up to that and just say to someone, but then, as you said, suddenly I'm doing things I haven't done before. One thing we've got to remember, whenever a product goes into your body, it needs time to repair. If you're thinking it's going to work the next day, or why isn't it working? It's been 24 hours, it's been 10 minutes. No, it's got to go in there and start repairing. Our cellular structure changes every 3 months. So it could take 3 months of repairing cellular structure before you even start seeing a difference. You've got to be patient and persistent and give it time. How long was it for you before you kind of clued in that this is something working?
It took me 6 weeks.
Hmm.
6 weeks to realize that yes, it's working and it's different. I was very close, I have to admit, I was very close to saying, this is it. I'm not doing
Yes.
it. But I promised her to begin with that I'm going to give it 2 months.
Hmm.
So I was very close to the 2 months.
Yes,
I
yes.
was still fighting it and continuing because I said 2 months. I had to keep my word in it.
Right.
It probably, like I said, it probably started to work before the 6 weeks.
Hmm.
And she said that if I would have stopped, I would
Yeah,
have felt it earlier. The difference between taking and
yeah.
not using and not using the Redox. I'm glad I didn't stop. I'm glad I continued because, like I said, my life is completely different now.
Something
So
very foreign to
consistency
you,
is
right?
important.
It is very, very important. And like, 25 years of this, it does take a while. The body kind of feels it before the mind does. All right. And it does take a while for you because you're so used to being in pain. I live at a 7 or 6 to 8 pain level every day. So if I ever have any treatment or anything that releases pain, it's like the brain is still in the pain mode. It's used to the pain. It's still there. It's like, the body hasn't kind of commuted to the brain yet. It's okay. You don't have to feel anything. It's gone now. And it takes a little while for us to catch up and realize what's happening. And as you say, only when you do the exertion of things that you normally would not be able to do, and you suddenly can do, and you go, hang on, something's different here. But how long did it take you mentally to realize, hell, I'm not in pain. If I want to go for a hike, I can.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it probably started to change earlier than the 6 weeks.
Hmm.
But it was 6 weeks until I realized that even on the day of, like you said, the brain was so trained that I can't, that I'm in pain and I can't do things, that it took me half a day to realize and look back to the day and say to myself, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I've worked in the garden for longer. I don't have to do my ex. I did the exercise because it was part of my routine,
Hmm.
but I didn't really need it to do it, not for the pain. I did it for fun and because I like yoga,
Hmm.
and not because I was in pain and I needed to change and release the pain. And yeah, it took me half a day to realize that something is really, really different. And that different thing, I mean, I felt when I got up in the morning that something is different, but I thought I got the virus, the
Ah.
COVID virus,
Mm.
which I never had, so I didn't know how I'm supposed to feel. But I wasn't myself, so that's why I thought that that's what I got. It took me half a day to realize that it's actually something positive, and
Hmm.
that it's lack of pain, that I can do things I haven't been doing and doing more of things I was doing a little bit before.
And of course, if you're using muscles that you haven't used for a long time or before, um, we've got to bear in mind that they're being ignited now and they're going to, they haven't been stretched out, they haven't been done doing things. So there's going to be some normal type of discomfort just for using muscles that you've never used before.
Yes, absolutely. And but part of it is where the yoga comes in to
Hmm.
make sure that even when I couldn't use things, I still or I couldn't feel certain muscles. and certain nerves, I still made sure that I'm stretching them
Yeah.
without really feeling. And then suddenly I was more aware of what I was doing.
Yeah. So what kind of product is it? Is it a pill? Is it a patch? What, or is it a machine? What is it?
So it comes in two formats. The main one is a drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's liquid that we drink twice a day, and that's called Redox. And it's something that we already have in our body, so it's native to the body, and we just adding more of what we have in the body.
Supporting it.
And it works from inside out. So I took it for my back pain, and it could have happened that I had a different problem that I wasn't aware of, and it went there and it fixed that problem before it went to my back, and that could have been the result why it took me 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know, but because it works from inside, you take it for A, and it might be working in B, and you can
Yeah.
control it. So we also have a gel format that's called Renew 28. And it's what you said before, it's called Renew 28 because our skin renews
Yeah.
itself every 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the name comes from. And this one you rub on your skin in an area of discomfort. So you can control, and it works from outside in. So you can control where it's working. So those are our main products for anything that's related to pain and for cell diseases.
Mm. You know, the thing is, the body is an absolute incredible thing. It has such ability to heal itself. But if it's depleted, or if its chi, its energy is being blocked, right, then it can't fix itself. And very often drugs come and suppress the pain, which is not getting rid of the pain. And it can actually make things worse because now you think you aren't in pain and you do things that aggravate that pain even more. So having something that goes in, and especially liquid form, because it gets into the system so much quicker, it goes in there and it starts supporting and giving the what the body needs in order to repair itself. So it's a booster system, isn't it? Getting in there and igniting those cells to do the work that they're very capable of doing, but they just need a bit of fueling up, a little support along the way. And we don't think about that. You know, we take things to suppress, or we cut things out, or we cut things off, and we don't realize sometimes all we've got to do is put the right fuel inside there to support the body and allow the body to do its own work.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's the big difference between redox, which is what we have in our body, and it's meant to give the body the power to heal itself.
Mm,
It's not a healing drink, it's really giving the body the power to heal itself. And convention medication that's just suppressing,
yes.
but not really treating the cause. When you use the redox, you're bringing the levels that we have in our body up. You're inflating the cells, and they can go and work back the same way that they used to work when we were young, and the body gets rid of all the dead cells that it accumulated
Mm.
when we started to produce less and less redox in our body. And that's how it gets back its power, by getting rid of the dead cells, inflating the cells so they go back to their shape and they can bounce off each other and pass information to each other.
There are trillions of cells in our body all working together. And if they start breaking
70.
down, you know, if they get cancerous, if they get this, that, etc., they, like a bad apple in a barrel, they kind of start affecting all the other cells. So if we don't get in to address those cells and either delete them or revive them, whatever can be done, you can revive a cell if you catch it in time. If not, then it needs to be deleted so it doesn't keep contaminating all the other cells. But going in there and supporting the cellular structure, that structure is there to support everything else in the body. And as you said, yes, you knew the pain, but it knew there was something else wrong. You know, there was another cog in the machine that you weren't paying attention to that was causing the pain. And so it goes in there to repair that. And it is an incredible thing, the body. Just even our minds too, believing that yes, it's going to work. Give it the time. Don't demand. I want it to work now, right? Just because a painkiller takes the pain away for 10 minutes. No, this is not the point. The point is allow the healing. Believe it's going to heal, because that also supports the body in the healing. So obviously this is something that you take daily now, and that is to not keep the pain away because the pain is gone, but to optimize the cellular structure in the body so that it can keep well.
Yes, absolutely. I take it twice a day, every morning and every night before I go to sleep. It also helps me with the sleep. I sleep much better than I did ever
Hmm.
before I started taking. And you need to take it every day the same way that you brush your teeth every day. And the
Hmm.
reason is that our body cannot produce more than it's producing. It's
Right.
producing less and less as we grow older. So if we stop taking it, we're going to go back to where we were before we started to take it. And I
Hmm.
don't want to go back to the pain. I'm definitely
Right.
not going back
No,
there. So I
no.
have to maintain my health.
Yeah, and of course it's not going to go back there immediately. If you have a break or can't get it in, it's not like the next day. But what it's saying, over time, those cells, especially as you get older, are going to deplete. So it is about as we age, the cellular structure needs more support. And so if we don't keep that support up, then they're going to start depleting. And so it's not like it's going to happen the next day, but over time you will definitely feel it. So what we don't look at and what we don't teach people is a maintenance program. We don't understand that we have to maintain our optimal health. It's not just take something fixed. I'm fixed now and off I go. It's that how do you stay fixed? And that is optimization of the body so that it can cope with whatever it needs to cope with.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Because we think, oh, we fixed it, we don't need it
Yeah.
anymore, the help. But it's not. It's just like when you exercise, people who exercise usually exercise all the time. They don't stop just because they got into shape. They continue to
Mhm.
exercise. And we brush our teeth every day
Yes.
because we want to keep it healthy. And just because we go to the dentist or to the hygiene and we were told that everything is fine and we don't have any cavities, we won't stop
Mhm.
brushing our teeth because now we're healthy. We want to continue to maintain the situation. And this is the exact same thing with ourselves. We want to maintain the healthy cells. We don't want to go and accumulate dead cells again because they bring diseases with them and aches and pains that we don't really like. So we want to maintain their health, and maintaining the health means that we need to continue to take the Redox all the time. We might be able to take less
Mhm.
when we're healthy, so we can play with the amount that we take. When we're not in a good place, we would take more,
Right.
and then we can go down to a maintenance level.
Mhm.
Yes, we can do that, but we don't really want to stop completely.
No, no, because the body's getting older, folks. Things are more likely to break down. And so it's putting the right fuel in your car, in your vehicle, to make sure that it's optimized. We've become very much a throwaway society. Oh, the battery's gone on my phone. I'm just going to get a new phone because you can't buy a battery because they want you to buy a new phone. We look at a 10-year-old car, think we could throw it away. Yet we revere the cars that have been around 40 and 50 years because they were built to last. We're actually meant to be built to last. We're not meant to expire and be replaced. But we've kind of had that mentality over things. And this vehicle that you're driving, oh, stupid hand, but go down. Every time I move my hand, the hand comes up on these things. Speak Italian. This vehicle that we're driving cannot be replaced. That yes, all right, we've got 3D arms and legs and body parts that we can do and heart transplants, but we don't want to go there. We want to stay healthy so that we can really enjoy our lives right to the very end and even extend our lives because we're healthy. There's a lot for us to do, no matter what your age is. But if you don't have the health, you don't have the strength to do it. So this is a liquid form. What is in it? I mean, if people are vegan or vegetarian or have allergies, I mean, how do they go about knowing if their body could even take this? Or that it may conflict with something that they believe in.
So it starts as salt and water, and then it goes through a process that takes 3 days of putting things together and breaking the atoms and putting them together and breaking them again until it becomes redox. And redox, we already, like I said before, redox, the body produces redox. So anyone can take it no matter what their health situation is. You cannot be allergic to redox because you have it in your
Right.
body.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you'll be allergic all the time. It doesn't happen. You're allergic to specific things. You're not allergic for things within your body.
Right.
You're allergic to things from the outside that you bring into your body. So this is not something from the outside. This is from the inside. We have it. We're just giving it more. So anyone can take it, no matter if what their health condition is, no matter what, if they taking medications or not, or if, like you said, they have allergies. And as far as vegan, vegetarian, and things like that, salt and water,
Hmm.
basics.
Yes.
It's what the body is made of. It's what our tears are made of. It's what our sweat is made of. This is the basic of our body.
Mm. It's quite fascinating that I don't know who came across this, but doctors and scientists, how they kind of come across, well, this is what the body needs. We're not producing it enough. And I don't know what blocks us from maintaining it ourselves. I don't know if there's something we're taking on the outside that breaks that process down, or whether it's wear and tear, or, but as I said, the body is an incredible machine with so much ability, but we don't always treat our bodies very well, so they do break down. And then, salt water. I mean, yes, it goes to say that we're made up of the universal particles, we're made up of earth particles, we're just an extension of earth. We're the walking tree, we're the fluid air, we are the ocean itself. And it's like, for people to think, well, that's weird. No, energy is energy, and it just transforms in different ways. And if we're open to receive that, um, it's always the simple answers, isn't it? Simple answers. And we look for this big complex thing, and it's like, it's a salt water breakdown in your body, just to fortify in your body. And I think some people sometimes find that hard to grasp because it is so simple.
Yes, people think that it's fake. People think that they can just take salt from, kitchen salt
Yes. No,
or
no,
or
that's
good
so
kind of
processed.
salt,
No.
Himalayan salt,
Yeah.
and add to water and drink it, and it will do. No, there is a whole process that it goes through, and we're really particular in it, and that's why there's only one place. Although we are in 35 countries in the world, our factory is only in Utah, so they can control the quality of the product and not spread it all over the world. And every time they produce it, they randomly take bottles from the line and send it to an independent lab to test it to make sure that what we're claiming is inside is
Mm,
really inside.
right.
This is how important it is to them and to us, of course.
So it comes in a bottle, or is something you add water to, or what?
No, no, it comes in a bottle. It's already in a bottle, in a really nice blue bottle. I don't know if they can see, that people can see it, but
Yes,
this is the bottle.
right.
And Redox is inside. You can't mix it with water because if you mix it with water,
You're
it's
diluting
gone.
it.
You
Right.
ruin the whole thing. It's very, very sensitive. So even when we take it, we have to wait 20 minutes until we can eat or drink or do anything else, brush our teeth and so on and so forth. We have to really treat it with delicacy
You're right.
because it is
Allow it to do
delicate.
its work. Right. If you
Exactly.
drink or do
And
anything afterwards, you're diluting its work.
yes, and the gel is exactly the same thing. We managed to add a little bit of clay, special clay in it
Hmm.
that makes it a gel format instead of a liquid format. But also, we don't mix it with anything. It just the way it is.
Right. Good thing to put on night before you go to sleep, right? Yes. Um,
Absolutely.
so, again, that is another thing we're inclined to take things, just pile it all at once. And it's like, well, no, there's some things that need to go in there and do their job, and they don't need something else in there trying to do something at the same time because now there's a traffic jam going on. So allow it to get in there. That bottle, how long would that last?
So one bottle is good for a week. And usually when you buy it, the company sends you 4 bottles. That's the minimum. That's the maintenance level. They send you 4 bottles that will last for a month.
Right.
If you need more than the maintenance, then you just ask for more than the 4 bottles, depending on what your situation is.
No, of course, we are, we look at going to buy a latte for $6 or, now a loaf of bread, $7 or $8, which, is incredible. We're spending money outside on other things. But when it comes to spending money on something that is actually a maintenance of our body, that is, repairing our body, and we look at it go, oh no, that's too expensive. I think one we have to look at things like this is it is a part of your food budget. If you're healthy and you want to eat healthy, absolutely. That's really, really important. But consider this as part of your health food budget, not something external. Because when you do that, then it's just a part of that, your maintenance. As you put food in to maintain and feed your body, just consider this a part of that process as well. Because otherwise people look at it and go, but it's too expensive. Well, isn't it more expensive to take the drugs and the medicines and the treatment and all of that type of thing that you do? Uh,
Yeah, and
so
God forbid get end up in a hospital, and that's
yes,
a
yeah,
whole budget on its own.
yes, exactly. I mean, going for a massage therapy now is like 125, and you don't do it once and that's it. In order to maintain your body and help with your pain and everything, it's a weekly thing. That's a hell of a lot of money. So, what kind of money are we looking at for this?
So if we look at the basic, which is the 4 bottles a month, we're looking at 130 American dollars,
Okay, so divided by
which
four.
comes to around $5, even less than $5 a day.
There goes your latte, which isn't good for you anyway, puts on weight. So there's one latte for less a day. All right. So if we look at it as one thing taking off, our consumer and look at it, well, that wasn't really good for us anyway. Maybe that's half a pack of cigarettes, folks, actually probably even more because cigarettes have gone up and up and up. Um, I think it's looking at it in proportion because if you look at it as that, it feels a lot. When you incorporate it into the food budget as maintenance, like you would take your vitamins, like you would take all your other stuff. That's a point. Do you have to continue to take all those other nutrients that you've been taking if you're taking this?
Yes. One of the things that the beauty about the Redox is that it helps us absorb more of medications that we take.
Mm,
Because when you take medication, you absorb only a certain percentage of
yeah,
the medication. And with the Redox, you're observing a higher dosage. And as a result, you might need, depending on what your doctor feels, you might need less or
mm,
not at all of the medication. So if you look at it in the long term, you're actually saving money
yeah,
if you stop taking so many medications.
exactly. Or the nutrients that you're taking are actually working because they're not being filtered out for all the contamination in your body. They're being fortified. And so you don't need to take a higher dose. You can take a lower dose, but you can also start feeling that's working, right? So that's one of the things that people don't understand is the absorption in our body, especially when you're taking pills. If they don't break down very often, they're just peed out. Right? They're not doing anything. Centrum is a big one on that. I remember somebody doing a whole thing on that where they owned porta potties. And when they cleaned them out, they would find all these whole centrums in there because all they would do is go right through the body. So you want the best absorption. So if your body is more optimized into absorbing all these other nutrients or your medicine, it's at least doing the work that it was designed to do. And it's not fighting a
Yeah,
losing battle.
yeah, and you're not spending your money for nothing.
Right, exactly. That's, yes, you probably take 5 cents out of every dollar that's actually working and the 95 cents isn't. So you really want to have that absorption. How is it affecting the skin and the hair and the eyesight? Have you seen any benefit there?
A lot of benefits. Um, my hair used to be white on the sides,
Hmm.
and now it's not as white as it used to be. I have lots of black hair that decided to appear as I was taking the Redox. The gel, actually, there's a really nice story. The gel we put in the morning, once in the morning and once at night on our face, and it gets rid of the wrinkles and, of course, all the dead cells, but it also over time gets rid of the wrinkles that we have. Um, when we have bruises, we put it 3 times in 5 minutes. And we put it a few times during the day, and it gets rid of the burn, the cut, the rash, and so on and so forth. Any discomfort in the skin. So this lady in it was in Florida actually, and this lady misunderstood what was told her and how to use it. So instead of using it once in the morning and once at night, she did it 3 times in 5 minutes in the morning and 3 times in 5 minutes at night, like the way you would treat uh, rash and other discomfort in the skin. And within 2 weeks, she bumped into a friend, and the friend looked at her and said, "Oh my God, what did you do? I have to get your surgeon's address. Your your skin looks so nice. And there's no stitches, no nothing. Like this is amazing." She was sure that she went for a surgery to do a skin lifting. And
Ah,
she didn't. She just used this
so
the
it
wrong way,
fortifies
but
the
she used
skin,
it.
but it also goes into like if there's muscle ache or anything like that, or is it just purely topical, Does it go
No, no,
into
yeah, definitely. If you have a place when you have if you have pain, you also put it 3 times in 5 minutes. And the reason you put it 3 times is that we have layers in our body.
hmm
So the first time it goes only to the first layer, and then the second time it goes to the second layer. And the third time is when it reaches the root of the problem, the root of that causes you the rash, the root that causes you the pain. Um, if you have a cut, so where the inflation it gets accumulated around the cut and things like that. So that's why we need to use it 3 times in 5 minutes and not just once. It's not enough. Yeah, anything that has to do with with skin and with local discomforts such as pain. The Redox, the drink, takes the pain away forever, like it did with me. The gel takes it away for a few hours, and then you need to put it again. So
right.
that's the difference when it comes to pain. And you asked about eyesight. We
Mhm.
take the Redox, the liquid, and we put it in a special spray bottle. And I'm saying special because it's very sensitive. It can go only to glass or specific plastic that
Mhm.
was produced in the company that it can stay redox and not change back to salt and water.
Right.
And you spray your eyes. And I just met a few weeks ago, I met a lady who actually the only thing that she did was spray her eyes. She didn't even drink the
Mm.
Redox. She just sprayed it a few times during the day, and she dropped 2 numbers on her glasses.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty good. Because as we get older, believe me, folks, we need the glasses. Absolutely.
Yes.
And we can drop that. And just not only that, again, it's supporting the eyes. I mean, especially with computers and phones and things like this, where we're exhausting our eyes so much more than ever we would have in the past. And so we really do need to pay attention to that. And, like how many people have spent a fortune on facelifts or, expensive creams and all of that. And really, again, it's back to that rejuvenation. The cell structure just needs to be supported. so that it can give us that youthful. I mean, what is optimum cell? It's youthful, right? It's turning the clock back on us and it's keeping us optimized as we were when we were children. How is this for something called eczema or eczema, as some people refer to it as?
The exact same thing. It will over time, and I can't tell you exactly how much because every person is different. But if you put the gel a few times during the day, again, same formula, 3 times in 5 minutes, eventually it will get rid of the eczema. And then if you continue to drink the liquid, it will not come back. So you don't have to put the gel all your life in the
Right,
area. You will put the gel only when you physically can see it. The drink will make sure that it doesn't come back.
right. Yeah, it's really interesting. I just love it. I mean, I could just see the cells having a party, going, yes, yes, give me more. I
Yes.
haven't felt like
And by
this
the
in
way,
years.
this is also good not for human beings, but also for animals.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And that's the thing in our family, we've just lost two pets and they became very sick and they both had to be put down and it was quite, upsetting. If we can maintain their health, they're obviously going to have their lifespan, but we can increase that lifespan and especially the health of that lifespan as well. Any living creature, right? And obviously when it comes to children, is it a different dose as it would be for adults? Animals or
Yes, so
children?
the amount that we take is depends on our age and on our weight.
Ah, okay.
So kids will take probably a bottle a month, depending on their age. So if I'm talking about a little kid, like, just a newborn, to even a newborn can take it, you just spray it, use the spray and spray it into their mouth instead of drinking it because they
Right.
can't drink yet.
Yeah.
But the spray will work the exact same way. And all the way to like 6, 7. And as they grow older, you add a little bit at a time. So it really depends. And it also depends on how sick they are. If they're really sick, you want to give them a bigger boost.
Hmm.
And if they're healthy, then you just want to maintain the health you came to.
Right.
So
So, I mean,
yeah.
ideally, we kind of look at our children thinking their cellular structure should be optimized right from the word go. But, there's outside elements, right? And our children pick up those outside elements, and that already starts looking and attacking the cellular structure. So, if we can give them something that can optimize that cellular structure, it also becomes a deterrent for picking everything up, or at least if they do pick something up, like kids are petri dishes, noses perpetually running, especially if you're in school or daycare. It's the next cold that's gone around, which seems to be weekly. So if we can build up that immune system, build up their cellular structure, then it becomes something that they're less, they're going to pick things up less because they're fortified more. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And also, if they have fever, you put the gel under the back of their forehead, in their armpits, and behind their knees, and the fever will drop. So you know how we are always know about putting them in a tub in
Mm,
water, and they get the fever. If they have high fever,
yeah,
the gel will do the exact same thing, and they can still stay in their bed. So they don't have to scream and yell that they don't want to be in the tub. They
right.
can stay in bed.
Yeah.
They can stay on the couch and watch TV, and you just quietly put it on them, and it will treat the fever.
There's us as well, because again, we pick up everything the kids have. I've got two baby grandsons, so, go and see them in the winter, whatever they get, grandma goes home with, right? So it's something that can be that great preventative or, very much a believer is stitch in time. A lot of people don't understand what that means, but back in the day when I was young, we had stockings and they used to get a ladder. And if you caught them right at the beginning, then you didn't have the whole stocking laddering. So the stitch in time is repair it right in the beginning before it becomes something too big. So would you say that this is something that can get in there and repair something immediately or optimize it that it doesn't break down as fast or as easily or does repair quicker, as a preventative and as something that can get right in there and start repairing things fast, no matter what you hit with?
Well, if a kid is healthy, then the age of 12 is the turnout point where we start to produce less and less redox.
Hmm.
That's what the science discovered. And the people who discovered that actually got a Nobel Prize for that.
Mm.
That was at the end of the 80s, so that was a long time ago. Um, we lose 10% per decade from the age of 12 and on. So if your kid is healthy before 12, they don't really need to have it unless, of course, they're sick and you can, like they have fever and you can give it to them then and you can just use the gel and the spray for that.
Hmm.
But if a kid, God forbid, has a disease, then you want to give it to them to treat the disease and then you want to keep them on it so the disease doesn't come back.
Right. So it's look at where the child is at. Well, we've got, like with COVID, when anybody gets a cold now, the colds have changed. They're not just simple sniffles anymore. Kind of, is it a variant? Is it a part of COVID? Is it this? Is it that? We just don't know how to identify anything anymore. And everything's kind of seemed to have gone under one umbrella. And I think it's just like, I feel sick. Snotty nose, heavy chest, this, that, etc. I'm sick. Can't identify it. But it's what do you, and then you go, well, what do I take to help? Because I don't know if it's this and I don't know if it's that. So this type of thing is something you can take that can help where it gets in there to start repairing, where you can take the topical to actually address the problem in the moment, and then take the liquid as something to heal and then maintain so you don't fall back for the next one.
Yes, the beauty about the liquid is that you don't need the diagnostics.
Hmm.
It will give the body the power to heal itself in any area that the body feels that is not healthy. So you don't need to know, even if you look at specific diseases, there might be variants of the same disease, and you need to know exactly what the cause is to know how to treat it. You don't need it with the drink because the drink will work no matter what the cause is.
Right.
It will get rid of the dead cells, the inflammation, and will slowly give the body the power to slowly heal you from whatever it is. So it works if you have a heart problem, if you have a
Mhm.
kidney problem, if you have a liver problem, it doesn't make any difference. You don't need the diagnostics. This will work the same way on all of them.
Right. Because it's treating the body as a whole and not
Exactly.
as a different organs. Because it's the cellular structure which supports every organ in the body, including the skin, which is the biggest organ, and because it's fluid, where we are mostly water in our body, that means it's getting to every organ, and it's not picking and choosing which it heals. It's just getting into wherever it's needed, optimizing wherever it's needed.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. The body knows where to send it. It goes, actually, when we drink it, we don't drink it like we drink water.
Hmm.
We squish it in our mouth, like the same way that when we go to the dentist, they give us to squish to clean our mouth before they start the treatment because it absorbs in the blood stream and it
Hmm.
goes straight throughout your body through the blood and just a little bit goes to your stomach when you
Hmm.
drink it, but most of it goes through the blood and it will go in the areas that the body feels that it needs it the most.
So it's not like putting it in a glass and drinking it. It's rather like a mouthwash and swishing it around your mouth for a few minutes and then digesting it.
Yeah, for 30 seconds and then
30,
you drink it. Yeah.
right.
And then
Okay.
you don't have to spit it, you can drink the rest of it so
Right.
it will go to your stomach, but it's a really low percentage that gets there. It's not how it works.
So could you be like in the morning, you have brushed your teeth. Can you brush your teeth first and then do this? Or do you have to wait a period of time before you do this? You can't brush your teeth afterwards, but can you do it before?
So there is the 20 minutes, more or
Either
less
way.
20 minutes
Okay.
rule. So you can get up in the morning, drink this as the first thing that you do, so you didn't contaminate it with anything. Wait 20 minutes and then start your routine of brushing your teeth, you know, taking
Right.
your medications, doing if you have any medication you need to take, doing your coffee or tea or whatever you drink in the morning, eat your breakfast and all that.
It's
If you feel like, oh my God, I have the to brush my teeth first, you can brush your teeth, wait 20 minutes, and then drink this.
right. And
The
then
beauty about
it's
this,
at night, just take it before you go to bed.
exactly. So you finish
Yeah,
to eat early, and then, I mean, not early, you finish to eat normal. So you can't have a snack before you go to bed
right.
because you have to wait 20 minutes and take it. So you can brush your teeth, wait 20 minutes, take this, and then go to bed.
So you
Yeah,
go to
and the
the
beauty
bathroom,
about
you do your
this,
business, and you go around switching off the lights, making sure the thermostat's down, the cat's gone out, well, dogs come in, and all of that. And there's 20 minutes, right?
exactly, take it on the kids if you have young kids, all
Yeah,
those things that you do anyway, you do it after you brush your teeth instead of doing all those routine and then brush your teeth
right.
and go to bed. You just change the time. And the beauty about this is that it takes away the inflammation that we have that causes us to have this bad breath in the morning.
Mhm.
You don't wake up with a bad breath in the morning when you're taking the ASEA Redox. You also don't have, as how many times you get up and you have this little thing in your eye that bothers you, and you have to clean it, and you have to clean your ears every so often. All those things are gone. The Redox takes care of all those things, and you don't have it. I mean, I still clean my ears, but there's nothing coming out.
Right, right. So, people who have, I'm going to hit a few diseases here. Fibromyalgia, which is inflammational disease, which causes IBS, which is stomach, and it causes numerous other things because there's 31 points to fibromyalgia. You've got the cancer cells. So cancer, I would imagine it's great on that, which of course you can't make claims, but we can say enhance because it gets rid of the dead cells and fortifies the other ones. Crohn's disease and numerous other things like that. So basically anywhere where the cells are, which is everywhere the cells are, it gets in there and deletes the dead debris and then fortifies the other cells, which then also reproduce. And then that support and feed everything else. So if you have inflammation, if you have cancer, which is cell structure breaking down, if you have heart disease, if you have kidney disease, if you have all of that, then a good cell structure is going to get in there and support all of these organs so that they don't, because they're breaking down. That's the reason why you have these problems. They're breaking down. So if they're not breaking down because they're being fortified by the cell structure, by the cellular, then we're not having these problems. Is that right?
You absolutely, yes, you're absolutely right. The fact that everything is being depleted, the cells can communicate among themselves. They get attached to each other instead of bounce from each other, and the signal become weak, and then the body doesn't know to get rid of the dead cells, and we accumulating dead cells. We're getting inflammation, and we get all those different diseases. So if a disease is the cause of a disease, or the main thing with the disease is related to the cell system, it will work.
Hmm.
And since 99.9 of our body is made out of cells,
Yes,
there's a good chance that whatever you're suffering from will the redox will help you.
right. Exactly. And, we don't know, obviously, to the extent, when a person is completely breaking down, it's going to take longer to repair. And will it ever be able to optimize them back to a young, healthy self? Who knows? But it will give them back a quality of life and slow down the process of, quite honestly, the living death.
Yes, I have a friend who had abnormal cells in his body, and he was given very cautiously 30% to reach 2 years of life.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went out from the hospital, he came out with 17 different medications and looked 20 years older than he was. He started to use Redox when he was still in the hospital. His wife used to sneak it in for him
Mm-hmm.
because doctors didn't allow it.
Right.
He definitely increased the dosage when he left the hospital. In May, he celebrated 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
was slowly weaned out of his medications and he's taking zero medications. And now, not just that he doesn't look 20 years older, he looks much younger. When you see him, you think that he's somewhere in his 50s, maybe 60s, but he's in middle of his 70s actually.
Wow.
And he doesn't look like it at all because this changed his life from the inside out in all areas, not just the disease, but also the way he looks and everything else. Gave him the energy. I mean, when he came to visit the hospital, he went there and he like went to the nurses because he knew them all because he spent so much time there. They didn't recognize him. And when they realized who he was, they were really surprised to see him because they weren't expecting him to be around anymore. So they
Right.
didn't even think that it's him.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Well, you see, there's always an answer. And the thing is, using what the body makes for itself to fortify the body. It is, absolutely natural. We don't need synthetic. The last thing we need is anything synthetic that our body wants to get rid of. So using what's already in our body to help repair our body and fortify our body and give us a quality of life just makes perfect sense. So somebody wants to get this product or even wants to sign up and start selling it. How do they reach you? And, what's the process that you take them through?
So the best way to reach me is via my email, which is ASMAIDANY@hotmail.com. They can also call me on WhatsApp at 1-416-616-0514. The first thing that I would do is probably send them to my website so they can get more information and they can learn about it. And we would, if they decide that they want to start using it, I will help them register. And the beauty is that they don't buy it from me, they actually buy it directly from the company. So they're saving the middleman and they can get a wholesale price instead of a retail price.
Excellent. Excellent. That's what it's about. As I said, folks, yes, you kind of may look at the price and go, oh gosh, can I afford it? And then you go, okay, what can I let go of on a daily basis? Right? That $5 a day, what can I let go of that isn't serving me, that isn't helping me? Right? It may have become a clutch, or you're craving the sugar because your body says it wants it, which it doesn't actually. It doesn't want it at all, but you think it is because you're not listening. So why aren't we paying attention to what our body wants and giving it what it needs that it's not producing anymore due to X, Y, and Z, age, illness, bombardment, external things, and support it and just look at incorporating it into our, our grocery list and or our medical list, whichever way you want to do it, or a bit of both. I look at giving it a try, giving it at least 2 months and allowing it to set into your body and pay attention to your body, and be patient because however you are, whether it's worse or little, you don't know how quickly it's going to work, but be patient, give it the time, because when you give it the time and you take it as you're meant to take it, you're going to see the results. And after all, isn't that what we want to do? We want to know our bodies are going to allow us to do all those other wonderful things that we want to do in life. So please reach out to her and give it a try. Have a conversation. Do you feel if it's right for you? reach out to Addie. She's here to help you. Okay. Addie, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing this. This is absolutely fantastic. And we've all got that. We've all got that opportunity to, your health is your choice. We've all got the opportunity to fortify our own health. We don't have to have it over to doctors. We can do the things that can fortify ourselves and take ownership of our own bodies. And if we have to work with a doctor, fine. But let's take some ownership of our own bodies and what we put in it and how we nurture ourselves. So thank you so much for sharing here today. And
Thank you so much for having me.
oh, my pleasure. I love the fact there's always an answer. It's very simple. We've just got to apply. Listen, learn, and apply, folks. That's what it's all about. Reach out to Addie. She'll have that conversation. Give it a try. All right. And until next time, folks, remember, you're worth the investment. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.